What is good, YouTube, man? This is, of course, your boy ExactoKnife. I'm in the building. My gang know to drop the like and watch the whole vid. Thank you for the support and the love on the channel. Let me know how y'all liking 2K22 so far. And I took y'all advice. Like I said, my tier list videos of badges did really well. But a lot of people kept asking questions on Twitter, even some on Twitch, where I stream every single day, twitch.tv/ExactoKnife. I'm in the building. And on the YouTube comments, of course, people were asking, but what about for this build? What about for this build? So this is going to be very easy for me to knock out a lot of these videos in a short time. It's basically going to be specialist badge list. And it's not going to be like, just, is this badge good? Is what it does? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like, for this playstyle, I like to teach people rather than tell them what to do. And like I said, I felt like with my tier list that kind of left a lot of shit up for debate. So here I want to teach y'all how to build badge setups for certain playstyles. Obviously, if you're on current gen, you're gonna have a little bit less badges available for certain categories compared to next gen, which is what I play, but the principle is gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? The higher the badge here, as you see, we got required tier, we got necessary tier, we got helpful, we got surplus, and we got not useful. So it's all the badges, obviously, except for not useful for the playstyle, can be used. And if you love the badge, obviously use it higher than you want to. But to basically break it down, required tier is going to be badges that you have to use to play this archetype position. Today's topic is lockdowns, of course, or on-ball primary defenders. Necessary is going to be badges that you're going to have a lot of those badges sprinkled in. Maybe not some, depending on how you like to play, but if you have a lot of badges in that position, then you definitely want to have as many of those as possible. Helpful is badges. If you find them useful, you can use them. And surplus is just like if you have a lot of badge points, or if you're playing a very specific role, you could maybe use them, but they're more like just a cherry on top if you have nothing better to equip. You know, so if you already got all the tiers of all the other badges of the 3 tiers above selected. So with that out the way, let's get into the not useful badges for locks. Alright, so I'm going to be revealing them in groups. I'm not going to be dragging the badges out one by one as I did with my tier list. Not only to speed up the video, but just so y'all get the bigger picture, because this is more like grouped into tiers. Whereas with the rankings, it was just badges just happened to be at a certain part. These badges are going to come in groups that are going to be making sense together. Toward my camera is inverted. So toward the left side of the, like I said, the group is going to be like where defensive leader is. It's going to be like the better part of the tier. And toward the right side of the tier list, it's going to, where worm is right here, it's going to be the worst part of the group or section per se. So as you see, the first 4 badges we have for an on-ball lockdown: defensive leader, brick wall, post move lockdown, and worm. Worm, obvious, you're not pushing nobody out the way as a lockdown. The only time you're getting a board is if you're doing the putback. Check out the video on that I dropped literally last night. It's an amazing feature that you can do this year, and it's actually pretty effective if you have a decent driving dunk and you know what you're doing. When you run in from the corner and just grab the board without jumping for a putback, that's the only times you're getting boards. Worm is not going to be useful. Post move lockdown, if you're a big lock and you have this even available to you, then yeah, if you're like running center on the 2s, but at that point you're not a lock no more, you're a center. So if you're guarding ball, no post move lockdown. Brick wall, it could be useful for like if you switch on the center to body them up and push them out the paint, but we're talking about guarding ball right now. So like I said, if that's something that you want to do, I mean, there's way better badges for that coming up on the list for stopping centers. But if you're just that adamant on, if you have high strength, high paint defense, and you just like, the center shall not pass, you can use it. But besides that, it's not useful at all in the PNR. And defensive leader, of course, you want your stats being boosted if they're not already close to 99 as a defender on either gen that you're playing. You want your stats being boosted. You're not trying to boost your teammates' stats and cough up defensive badge points to help your teammates play D. You're the one that has to play D. So that's that for the not useful tier. Now we're into the surplus tier. In here we got badges like pogo stick, off-ball pest, box, and ankle braces. Now ankle braces is so controversial. Some people say it works, some people say it doesn't. I feel like it lowers the amount of tight handles animations you get, and I haven't been ankle broken very often with it on gold at all, even though I know a lot of people are dumb and stupidly so, but they do run ankle breaker and space creator, and I don't feel like I get hit by those animations at all. I still get tight handled, which ankle braces I don't think does anything to prevent in terms of like the animations, but it could be a placebo. But I feel like things happen a little less to me ever since I put the badge on. So it's like, If you got the badges for it, put it on, but don't worry too much about that because everyone gets tight handled and no one gets ankle broken. Box, if you're a lockdown that has rebounding, which should be most of you lockdowns, box will help you when it comes to boxing at the center, but usually a lot of centers just having so much more physicality and strength and size and weight on you, they're just gonna push you out the way anyway. So unless you run it on a high tier, box will not be, it's not like the past 2Ks where you could just run box on bronze. Box on bronze, it works, but it's not a cheat code no more. So unless you have an absolute surplus of badges, I do not recommend running it. Same with off-ball pest. You're the on-ball defender, so you shouldn't really be guarding off-ball that much. And if you're a lockdown, I assume you have some decent size, paint defense, block, and steal attributes to counter your defenders. You're not going to be too worried about getting backdoored as a lockdown. If you are, you might need to play a different position. And pogo stick, of course, as a lockdown, the last thing you ever want to do is jump in the paint. If you're the only time you're ever going to even do that is if you're switched on a center, and if you jump in the paint, they're just going to lay it up or dunk on you right away. Pogo stick is not going to help you. And if you jump in the paint on the ISO, the guard's going to run out and force a three, either from your teammate rotating from the corner or from just running out and shooting a three on you. So don't jump as a lock unless you're 100% certain that you have to jump in that situation. Let's move on to the next tier. All right, now we find ourselves on the helpful tier. These are badges that I've tested and they do a great job for locks to contribute on the team. Obviously, as a lock, you don't want to reach a lot when somebody's going up. You'd rather contest. But in this game, even on next gen, my build got a 70 paint D, a 60 strength, a pretty high block, Intimidator, Menace, everything. And when they get you in one of those contact layup animations, those slithery finisher, those fearless finisher animations, that shit is just like 30%, 40%. I know on current gen y'all experience the same thing, and that because of everyone having perfect timing on layups with the NA timing, it just goes in. So sometimes, like, if you're predicting them slashing, ball stripper is going to be very useful. It's not just for small guards who just get babied, for whom it's a required badge, but it can definitely help you on a lock for sure. Like, ball stripper, do not sleep on that badge as a primary defender. Don't have your ego too high that you got to just play straight hands up defense on everyone, and if they make it, they make it. Your job is to get the stop, and ball stripper will help you do that. Tireless defender, running around behind after ISO, running around behind screens, chasing these 5'9s, chasing the left right. It's you know what I'm saying, it's definitely a challenge. So tireless defender is going to help you not only not lose stamina as you're playing defense, but also your attributes in terms of speed and perimeter defense won't take as much of a hit as you're losing the stamina. And if you play a long game with like rec and pro-am, you won't be fatigued as much, and your total stamina will not decrease over time. It's a great badge. Like I said, I say most locks should have this at least on something, unless you're like a lock that has a lot of playmaking and shooting or slashing, and then obviously you don't have as many defensive badges, in which case you probably can't afford it, and I'd recommend some badges that are higher on the list. Rebound Chaser, self-explanatory. After you force a stop on the ISO, after you switch with your center and the guard misses or something like that, you got to be able to get the board. Securing the rebound is the key to getting a defensive stop. There's no stop until the ball is in your hands and you're back on the other side of the basketball. You know what I'm saying? My coach always told me that. I'm sure if some of y'all play ball, your coach always says that. It's like one of the golden rules of basketball. A stop ends with a rebound. You know what I'm saying? A stop is a rebound. So Rebound Chaser, I use it on bronze on my lockdown. I feel like it helps a lot with getting jump animations. If you want to use it higher, it'll help you a lot. But once again, it's a helpful badge. It's not a necessary badge. It's something that if you have the badge points for it, definitely use it. Or if you and your center are both kind of small and y'all switch a lot and y'all both can guard the ISO once the guard switches and tries ISOing the center, then definitely go for that. You know what I'm saying? It'll help you on the glass. It'll help you convert more of your defensive stops into actual stops. Now in the necessary tier, we're getting into really, really good badges that most locks should have. Most of these badges at least on something. Chase Down Artist, Intimidator, Menace, Rim, and Interceptor. Now, obviously, if you're a next-gen player and you don't have certain things like Intimidator because you're a very short lockdown like some people are, or you don't even have Rim Protector because you're below 6'5", then obviously those badges don't apply to you. But just what I'm saying, generally speaking, obviously Chase Down Artist, anytime somebody's ISOing, attacking the basket, even if a guard has no slashing, they will score if you don't chase them down. Chase down is an important badge. It works great on all tiers. My recommended sweet spot for y'all would probably be even if you have it available high as like the silver gold area, like I said, obviously a lot of locks don't even get it above that tier, so definitely keep it on that. Intimidator, you're going to want to have that as high as it goes. It works on the perimeter, it works in the paint, it works on jumps, it works on hands-up defense, just all around great defensive badge. Menace, you're going to want to have this because it drops the opponent's ball control, it drops their speed with ball when you're face guarding them, it allows you to get more steals because their ball control decreases, it drops their shooting ratings by a little bit. It does not drop badges, but it's a great badge to have because as a lock you're always face guarding somebody or you're denying ball to them, and once they get the ball you're right in the mix, so you have to have that. I'd say have it about like gold to Hall of Fame tier on either gen if you're an actual lockdown with like a good amount of badges. Rim protector, put it as high as it goes. I know a lot of people on next gen don't get this because y'all are pretty short on the locks, but even if you get a bronze, you have to have it. Gives you grab locks, gives you way better block animations, gives you a massive boost to your takeover, especially if you have lock take equipped. All around phenomenal badge. Like I said, one of my favorite badges in 2K ever since it was introduced back in the day. Used to be known as a racer, was one of my favorite badges back then, and yeah, nothing else to say. Interceptor. Now, as an on-ball defender, you might think, why would I have Interceptor if I'm guarding ball? I'm not intercepting passes. When you switch with your center, you're playing the lane to the center. Way easier to steal the basketball than to try to guard a big man, especially if you're undersized as a lock. You know what I'm saying? When the big man has the ball, and let's say you box the guard for a half of the possession, and the guard hits the big for the reset. When the bigs be scary as hell, if you know how to get on their body, if you know how to get bumpy with them, if you know how to get in their airspace, you can get these incredible on-ball interception animations. You don't have to run Interceptor Hall of Fame, although a lot of locks do, you know what I'm saying, to make big-time plays. Say you're caught out the play, like you're in the corner on the rotation and your guard is guarding ball. You can bait that corner and get the Hall of Fame interception. It'll still help you, but like I said, have it at least on something I would recommend as a lock. It's not as important for playing defense because obviously interceptions can be gotten without the badge, unlike, you know what I'm saying, certain things like chase downs, which cannot be gotten without the chase down badge equipped, at least not on a high clip. If you're the type of lock that loves to apply pressure, loves to be active on the court, loves to play team defense, Interceptor will help you out greatly. Now for the final tier, the required badges. Like I said, some people may say I'm tweaking for putting Hustler this high, but I'm gonna give y'all my reasons why. One of my favorite badges in the game. Surprised I haven't dropped a video on the badge yet, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows how good it is, and if you don't, you're figuring it out right now. Now we got what I call the holy trinity of lock badges since 2K20: clamps, pick dodger, pickpocket, in that order. You know what I'm saying? The first three badges you should have. These badges on your lock should always be Hall of Fame. I don't care what else, everything else goes on. These badges should be Hall of Fame, no matter what. Clamps, pick dodger, pickpocket. Or obviously, if you're like a very small lock and you only get clamps gold for some reason, then obviously that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? But everyone should have these badges as high as they go. Clamps, obviously, body up animations, making the guards lose stamina faster in those body up animations. Guarding ISO, guarding screens, making bigs pick up the ball on the switch. Like, just, it's the most useful badge in the game when it comes to defending somebody and stopping them and stonewalling them away from where they want to go. Obviously, once you have takeover, this badge is going to go crackhead mode, and they're not going to be able to do anything against you if you align and position your body correctly. Pick dodger. Pretty much everybody in this game sets screens in one way or another unless you're on a pure ISO lineup. Even the bums in the park that just run around and rap all day like bees after you kicked over their beehive, you know what I'm saying? Like a wasp nest that you stepped on, just running around the court. They're setting these little down screens, these guard screens, and screens be hitting. Don't get it twisted. Screens might be sneaky, but even without brick wall, they be hitting. You gotta have pick dodger as high as it goes. Being in availability is the best ability. Being on your defender and near him is better than Intimidator, Menace, Rim, tireless defender, ball stripper, anything. It's better than any other badge in the game, being actually near your offensive player that you're defending. And obviously hustler. When you get a pluck, when you make the guard miss a shot, when you bump steal the guard, when you get a tip pass, when your center gets a tip pass, when you block a shot, your player's ability to grab the basketball and gravitate to the ball and run at the speed of light after the basketball and get to the spot, all that is going to be incredibly boosted by Hustler. Do not sleep on this badge defensively. It's a rebounding badge, it's a defensive badge, it's a stealing badge, it's a everything. It does everything on the court for you that you need. Like I said, if you're a lock, you need to be having this, because the loose balls is where you win the game. You win the game with the loose balls. You don't win the game with getting plucks. You're not gonna get 8 steals a game on anyone that's good. You'll be lucky to get 1. So when you get that 1 pluck, if you don't convert it, that's tough. It's going to be tragic for you if you're going against these left-riding guards. If you don't get that 1 stop when you need to, you might not get another one ever again. Alright, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed this style of video, dropping more gems on y'all. Y'all go out there, y'all lock them up. More videos of this type coming soon. Don't forget to support, drop the like on the video. Thank you everybody for the love, man. We grinding 1K coming up hopefully in 2021. Stay blessed, everybody. I'm out, man.